نهاري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن.
Viewers at home, I welcome you to our program NASFAT Half Hour. That program that comes your way in the month of Ramadan, where we seek to enlighten and educate you about the religion of Islam. We also try as much as possible to ensure that you are abreast of what is happening around the world. This is our maiden edition in this year 1439 AH in the month of Ramadan. Today, inshallah, we are going to look at a very, very important topic, which of course will also broaden our knowledge about the religion of Islam. And our topic is the new frontiers and challenges in dawah. What is dawah? What are the frontiers? What are the challenges? How do we surmount those challenges? To explain and answer such questions and many other questions that relate to this topic is our Murshid, the chief missioner, the chief imam of NASFAT worldwide, Imam Marufuddin Abdul Aziz Onike. Join me in welcoming him to this year's Ramadan NASFAT half-hour program. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We welcome you to the maiden edition of NASFAT half hour. For the next 30 days, inshallah, we'll be enjoying the programs regularly.
Alhamdulillah, our topic is new frontiers and challenges in dawah. We want to start with explaining the meaning of dawah.
Dawah means calling unto the will of Allah. It means propagation of religion. It means enjoining what is good for people and forbidding them from doing what is doing bad. Forbidding them from doing bad. It's a responsibility of every Muslim. Because Allah says in the Holy Quran, "Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa man aslamu mimman katama sa'adata indahu minallah." He said, "Who is most unjust than he who hides the evidence that he has got from Allah, who hides it from others?" It means those of us who have known the way, those of us who have seen the way, those of us who have embraced Islam as a religion of peace, must make sure the message get across to others who have not really embraced Islam, who have not seen the messages. Dawah is a responsibility of every Muslim. Calling unto the will of Allah is a responsibility of every Muslim. And the way those who don't hearken, those who don't listen, those who don't abide, those who don't follow this duty, to carry out this duty, the way they have been described by Allah, may Allah save us from it. وَمَنِ أَسْلَامُ, who is the most unjust than who doesn't do dawah? That's what the ayah says.
So meaning not doing dawah is carrying out injustice.
It's condemnable in Islam. You have to let people see. That's why Nasrullah al-Fatih makes it one of our slogan. That once we see, once we realize that the Quran says, "Let's arise," part of you, some of you, who will call people to what is good and forbid them from what is bad. That's why NASFAT came into existence, and that has been one of our responsibilities as a society, and it's part of dawah that we are doing Nasrullah al-Fatih.
Now, looking at dawah, dawah has always been there since the inception of the prophethood of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam up to today. So we want to look at in what ways have dawah changed? In what ways was dawah done during that time? And what are those things that are in the ways that we do dawah in our modern times?
The Holy Quran says, when it was talking about the war situation in an area, and that ayah is relevant here, it says, "Tilka al-ayamu nudawiluha bainan nas." That is the days. That's how we change days between people. Things can never be static. Things have changed, really. In this edition of the program, we look at what has changed. How do we see it? Are they real? And what are the implications and application of those changes, of those challenges, of those frontiers on four set of factors? On the human, on the scholars, on the dawah itself, and on Islam. What are the effects of those changes that can never be ignored? There are so many changes, there are so many challenges, there are so many frontiers that are telling on dawah, that are affecting dawah negatively or positively, and that is the essence of my topic, of my discussion here today. What has changed? A lot of things have changed. That nowadays, if any scholar is addressing a set of people, he should not deceive himself that he's talking to just those people in the room. He's addressing global citizens. That is why we have what we call international outsourcing, and that is the challenges. That's one of the challenges that we face when we had to go and start to look out for the moon. Some people started their fasting, hinging it on the fact that a particular state, a particular country has started the moon. If they have started moon in California about 9 hours ago, and I have to start my fasting, that is likely to be afternoon or early morning in my area here. I have to wait for my leader, who is making frantic efforts. I mean, the moment in Nigeria, Sultan of Sokoto is making frantic efforts at uniting the Huma. And we pray to continue to strengthen him. One of the challenges of Dawah is international outsourcing. The world is now a global village. And al-Hada to the Mahakama, culture is part of law. When you look at it, when you look at the environment, when you see what is happening and say you want to import it to the environment, there's bound to be a problem. It's one of the challenges we are facing in Dawah, we are facing among the Ummah now. After outsourcing and open sourcing, which is affecting us now, people watch television, people listen to national radio and say, okay, we are starting our fasting regardless of what the local leaders have said. Another problem, another challenge that we are facing as Ummah, and Dawah is facing, is abundance and choice. We have a lot of access to information now. If you want to lecture as a scholar, make sure you do your own work very well. People read WhatsApp, people access Facebook, people access Instagram, people have a lot of choice. Gone are the days when you push down their truth. Well, you push down their truth, whatever you like. Nowadays, they have choice. They will just switch off from you and go and face another scholar. Number 3, attention span of people have drastically reduced, especially among youth, and that's one of the challenges being faced by Dawah. If you have something to deliver, you have a lecture to deliver, you have information to pass across, once it spreads, once it's getting spread, more than 10 minutes, people will switch off and be doing something else. Most especially the youth, the attention span has reduced. In the olden days, people will sit down, people will sit and listen to lecture, listen to tafsir for 2-3 hours. Nowadays, you did in net 15 minutes, you cannot deliver your message, you are on your own. Number 4, authority versus anonymity. In the olden days, when you mentioned Sheikh Adam al-Ilori, Rahimahullah, all of us here, the elderly ones, we say Rahimahullah. When you mention Sheikh Ahmaduddin al-Hadabi, Rahimahullah, may Allah come to bless both of them. All of us, the elders of it nowadays, we say Rahimahullah, and we will extol their virtues, we will pray for them. But children of nowadays, they don't know them. They don't know them. That is what I call by anonymity. There are some scholars they access online that they have never seen physically. Those that we respect here, those that we embrace here, they don't really care about them. Number 5, gone are the days when authority, when sources of knowledge are mainly Medina and Cairo. Nowadays, people even take information from scholars based in Europe. People take information from scholars based in Asia. People take information from scholars based in Africa. Even people take information from scholars based in Nigeria because they don't know where that person is based. What that person says, once he has access, he becomes a blogger, he set up a website, he'll be addressing people. It's his challenge that we face now. In the olden days, people know that, oh, where is that tira from? Where is that book from? They say, oh, it was written by a good author in Cairo. People would drop their heart. Oh, that he couldn't have been speaking nonsense. He couldn't have been writing nonsense. Oh, where is he from? He's from a scholar. He's from a renowned scholar in Medina. You say, oh, he must have undergone scholarship, must have undergone studies. He must have had credible scholarship. But nowadays, sources of knowledge have sifted from Medina and Cairo. It has gone all over the world. Number 6, usul fiqh is facing challenge from charisma. A lot of people give fatwa, give opinion, give legal opinion without going through the process of usul al-fiqh. In Islam, as we have in arithmetic, you cannot solve any arithmetical problem without applying the rule of BODMAS. So also you cannot solve any, you cannot give any fatwa without going through the process of usul al-fiqh. What do I mean by usul al-fiqh? The process of getting laws from the source. And when you want to get laws from the source, the two sources, Quran and Sunnah, there are processes. We have what we call Quran, which is basic. We have what we call Hadith Mutawatir, which is basic too. Multiple chain Hadith. After that, we have Hadi, single chain Hadith. We have Qiyas, analogical reasoning. We have what we call Amal Ali Medina. We have what we call Shari Iman Koblana. We have what we call Istizan. We have what we call Ijma. All these things are processes that you have to be taking one by one. Once you don't see information about a particular concept in one of them, you move down. And scholars of different schools of thought, the approach they use after Hadith Mutawatir differ. Some scholars will say, Imam Musafi will say, Hadith Mutawatir, multiple chain. After that, he will consider, if he doesn't see the fact in a multiple chain Hadith, he can't find it in Quran, he will take a single chain Hadith. Whereas Imam Maliki will tell you, no, I won't take any single chain Hadith. I will go and see what the people of Medina were doing during the time of the Prophet or after the death of the Prophet before I pass the judgment. Nowadays, because of the charisma of people don't look at the in-depth knowledge they have about usul al-fiqh again. Once they give fatwa, and it's a challenge that we are facing in Islam. Number 7, ijaza, first certificate, first degrees. In the olden days, when you completed memorization of the Quran, they give you an ijaza. When you finish the particular tira in usul al-fiqh, they give you an ijaza. Nowadays, people have a lot of degrees, chains of degrees, but when you ask them to come and defend it, it becomes a problem. They are talking based on the possession of that certificate that we have got a degree, I've got my master's, I've got my 4th degree, I've got my... Once they have got it, it's now competing with our people who will spend so many years to get an ijaza. And once you get an ijaza, anywhere you go, people will see you as an authority. Another one is insular versus globalized environment. And that is why Nasrullah Al-Fati has taken it upon itself to do it at least 3 times a year. Gather our children, the undergraduates, we gather them somewhere. We do a course we call Reloading the Deen. You look at the title, Reloading the Deen. That is the language they can understand, because we know that they have access to the internet. If you say you want to restrict them, they will go to the internet and pick garbage and pick rubbish. How do we do that? We ask them to ask us questions that are disturbing their mind. After asking those questions, we now ask them to access internet themselves to look for answers. After getting the answers, we now pick holes in those answers, and we tell them why those answers are wrong and why a particular answer is right. If you say you want to block their ways, block their access to information, you are deceiving yourself. Even the phone they are holding, they can access Imam Menk, they can access any Imam Kodowi, they can access all international scholars. We are now in a globalized environment, and it has an implication on the scholars, it has implication on the Ummah, it has implication on society, it has implication on Islam, because people don't consider culture when they're giving fatwa. People don't know the background of who is giving a particular fatwa. Once he has access to internet, because of the globalized environment, because the world is now a global village, and it's a challenge that scholars have to work hard to let people understand the principle of Islamic jurisprudence that are called usul al-fiqh and maqasid sharia. Maqasid mean the objective of sharia with the promotion of benefits, removal of harm. Another challenge that Islam dawah and Islam in general is facing is the media issue. We have very few Muslim media organizations, and that is posing a lot of problem for us. If you claim that they are not promoting you very well, they are not giving you positive image, they are not giving you good coverage, where is your home? It's a challenge that Muslim women will have to sit up and make sure that we are there in the here, and we are there in the papers. If you are not there, nobody can sell your message, nobody can promote your religion for you. The last one, which is also important, is the self-life of knowledge. It's a challenge. A lot of people are relying on the old knowledge they have, forgetting that things have moved. In the olden days, if you want to look for a verse of the Quran, you have to go and be dusting your book, looking for Mujam al-Fas in the Quran. But nowadays, just punch on your phone, you get that particular information. You are looking for a particular hadith. You don't have to look for all the I'm looking for Masoi Buhari, let me go and look for the hard copy. I'm looking for Sahih Muslim, let me go and look for the hard copy. No, with your handset, you can access any information that you want. There are so many other challenges which time will not permit me to address here.
Now, it's still related to the month of Ramadan, the fasting here, and the commencement of the fasting. And we have been told that if the Quran actually said that we should commence our fast when we see the crescent. And in fact, we have also been told that if we do not see the crescent, let us follow those that have seen. وَإِسَا لَمْ تَرَ الْإِلَالَ فَسَلِّمْ. They will not sing يَرَوْنَهُ بِالْأَبْصَارِ. So, but I want you to look at this in the background of the 9-hour difference of California.
In Islam, there could be so many opinions to an issue. Once an issue is not clear, you are allowed to do ijtihad. That portion you have mentioned is the opinion of some scholars. Some scholars are now saying, if you want to follow any country, regardless of the distance, regardless of the time difference, why don't you follow them during Salat too? Since there's one moon that Allah has created, there's only one moon that Allah has created, and there's only one sun that Allah has created. We use sun to determine the Salat and the rest of it. Why don't you observe your Salat at the same time? That's why some people are now saying, why we should, to be on the safe side, we should follow the local leader and wait for them to announce. In Islam, if you are faced with so many confusing opinions, you have 10 options. And one of the options is to choose the one that you are ready to meet Allah with. If you say, okay, they have started a song in California, you who is in Nigeria should start it now, and you realize you know that you are 9 hours ahead of California. They are likely to be in the afternoon. You are likely to be in the afternoon when they are in the morning. You will start your fasting. Scholars are saying, why don't you wait for your local scholars, your local leaders to tell you that you have started in your environment? And I tend to support them because the position of some scholars on the people in the northern hemisphere now, who are having long time of fasting, like Aslan. Aslan this year we fast for about 21 or 22 hours. We fast for about 22 hours. Scholars are saying that they should choose for them to know when to break fast, because Islam is not a religion of difficulty. It's a religion of adino, in adina yusra. Islam is a religion of ease. They should follow the country that is next to them, or they should move to that country, or they suspend their fasting. When scholars agree that they should move to the country that is, they should use the judgment of the country that is closer to them. The country that is closer to them, they can use it for salah, they can use it for Psalm. It means distance may come in play here. Time difference may come into play here. If you are now saying that a country with about 13 hour difference, they have seen the moon, and you are starting it here, one may not be comfortable with that. But in Islam, once an area is not clear, you can't say your opinion is the best. There are choices, and one of the choices is to take the one that you are ready to meet the Almighty Allah with. And we are saying it for the umpteenth time. This argument about moon sighting should have been something that should be a thing of the past by now. Going by the effort that the Amir al-Mu'minin, Sultan of Sokoto, is making to ensure that we are united. They have been counting, they have started counting this Saban since the beginning. We don't have to wait until the last day before we start the controversy of the moon sighting again.
رحمن يا رحمن ساعدني يا رحمن اشرح صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن واسق حياتي قرآن.
Viewers at home, we are still on NASFAT Half Hour, where we are looking at the new frontiers and challenges in Dawah. Now we want to look at the implications and the applications of these challenges.
The implication is that the scholars have to sit up. You have to know very well that the people you are addressing, there's every probability that they know more than you do. In the olden days, we used to say sellers beware. Now it is buyer. In the olden days, we used to say buyers beware. Now it is sellers beware Sellers beware, sellers beware. You need to be ahead of those you are leading for you to be taken seriously. If you claim to know something, you are telling them story, fine. When it comes to the issue of Islamic knowledge, when it comes to the issue of giving fatwa, when it comes to the issue of giving opinion on issue, you have to be ahead of them. There was a story we were told the last time we did a course on raising fund for an NGO. They said there was a man who had 3 beds. He wanted to sell one for 100,000, the other one for 150,000, the third one for 1 million. For the first one, the buyer said, "Why 100,000?" He said, "This one understand English, you understand Yoruba." What about the second one you are selling for 150? He said, "This one understand English, you understand Yoruba, and you understand mathematics." What about the third one you are going to sell 1 million? He said he doesn't know what he knows, but the other two are calling him their master. What I'm saying is that if you want to lead, you have to be ahead of them in the area of knowledge. Sellers beware. When they come up with any ruling, any opinion from the net, you'll be able to tell them that this man has followed the processes. This one has not followed the processes because they don't know the qualification of the man that are giving the fatwa online. You, who is the leader that they can see physically, should be ahead of that person. If they have contacted the net, and you realize that the fatwa has been issued by a mufti that is based in Malaysia, you'll be able to tell them that this particular mufti has followed a particular school of thought. If they have chosen the fatwa that is issued by a mufti that is based in Egypt, you'll be able to tell them that has followed this particular material. If they have chosen a fatwa that is issued by a mufti that is based in Saudi Arabia, you'll be able to tell them that this is a fatwa that is based in the process of ijtihad of Abu Hanifa. Once you know all those areas, people will listen to you and they understand that you have an all-round knowledge. Although you have not been given except little of it. What I'm saying literally is that as a leader, you have to be aware now. You can't bamboozle people for long, and that is the implication of the new frontiers now on the scholars. It has implication on the Ummah too. If care is not taken, the Ummah will be regimentalized because people will not consider environment in applying fatwa. People will not consider environment in following a mufti. We will not consider even the level of knowledge of the person who is in that mufti. Once you have seen anything on net, www something, what is the background? That's what I'm talking about, anonymity. Anonymity versus expert. Because the man is anonymous, you don't know his background, you don't know where it's coming from. He has given a fatwa, and that fatwa, it has not told you the process he has used to arrive at that fatwa. It's like somebody who has manufactured a malaria medicine without telling people the content and the processes he has used. To give a fatwa, you look at this, you look at Quran, and not everybody can look at it. You have to go to the mu'adithun to tell you the application of that hadith. You have to go to the mufassirun to tell you the application of that particular part of the Quran. Not all parts of the Quran are generally applicable. Not all the hadiths are generally applicable. It is those who are mujtahidun, who can sieve hadith, who can sieve ayat of the Quran, who knows sababun nusul, who know the context in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made a particular statement.
Looking at the issue of dawah, we find that Muslims cannot be in isolation. We relate with other non-Muslims. So what is the relationship between dawah and people of other faith? And I want you to look at this against the background of the verse of the Quran, which says that wala terido ankal yahudu wala nasara hatta tettabi'a millatahum.
I know where you are going, because Muslims cannot live in isolation. We are living in a multicultural, multi-religious society. As Muslims, we have to relate with our non-Muslim brothers and sisters, because what they get about Islam online, you cannot control it. And that is why NASFAT is collaborating with a lot of organizations that are not Islamically based. And we have seen that that's an opportunity for us to do dawah. It's a platform for us to do dawah without any stress. The ayah that you have quoted is right, but it's quoted out of context. It says that the Jew and the Christian will never be pleased with you until you follow their way. It depends on the environment. It depends on the situation. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam cohabited co-lived with the Jews, with the Christians, and he cohabited with them peacefully. It will surprise you that when the prophet was to leave Mecca for Medina, the man that accompanied him, the man that escorted him, his name was Abdullah ibn Uraqit, a non-Muslim, an idol worshipper. If our honorable prophet who entrust his life into the hand of a non-Muslim, what are we talking about? Interfaith relation. NASFAT is benefiting a lot from it. Relate with them, because you cannot live in isolation. When you relate with them, you get a platform to do dawah.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. On Saturday, May 19th, inshallah, on our land on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, NASFAT Islamic Center, as it is our tradition, we are going to hold our Ramadan lecture for this year. And we are inviting all Muslims, members of NASFAT and non-members alike, to join us. Come and listen to the lecture to be given by our guest lecturers, very distinguished ones for that matter, Barrister Ikpimesho, the former Director General of NDLEA, and the Chief Imam of Offa. We all know him. Let us join other Muslim faithfuls in listening to this lecture. Inshallah, it will be starting from 10 a.m. Saturday, May 19th, 2018. I want to thank our Chief Missioner, our Sheikh Marufuddin Abdulaziz Onike, for coming onto this program today as our guest. We also wanted to, this is the first day in the month of Ramadan. We want to ask him to give us prayers.
We thank Almighty Allah for giving us the opportunity of witnessing another Ramadan.
Alhamdulillah.
We pray that Almighty Allah to accept this as an act of ibadah from us. Again, we thank Allah for maintaining peace, for sustaining peace in our dear nation, Nigeria. We pray again that it will continue to guide our President, President Muhammadu Buhari. We have seen the light at the end of the tunnel. We pray that Allah will sustain that hope that we have had. May Allah continue to be with all of us. May Allah continue to make Nasrullah al-Fati to grow in leaves and bonds. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That's how we wrapped up on today's edition. See you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.